Okay, so good morning. Very few students, 3 students only. Fine, but let's start. It's already, we have waited for 10 to 12 minutes. Now let's start. Okay, so in our last lab, what we have done is, we have done with the here these two programs where our server and the client which we have made with this connection oriented communication means you have dedicated connection, right? You are using TCP/IP protocol, and here client will give any of the string and server will find the number of characters and digits and it will send it back to the client. This is what we have done with the use of connection oriented and with the use of connection less communication. This two we have done, right? And the fourth one, that was the remaining one. So today we'll start with this fourth program, right? And we'll move on to the next JDBC first program. So this is what we are going to do. So here what you need to do, I'm explaining you what we are going to do is, so here what my definition is saying, write an application which will retrieve the file from the server machine and save that file onto the client machine. File name will be provided by the client. So the very first task, here client will do what? Client will ask to user that enter the file name. Okay. So client will give the file name, the user will give the file name. Okay. Then what we will do is, we will send this file name to server. Okay. Now server will do what? Server will read whatever the client has sent. So server will read the file name. Then it will check whether this file exists or not. If the file exists, it means if it is yes, then server will send yes to the client. Server will send yes to client. Okay, and here client side, what it will do, it will check whether the server has sent yes or no. If it is yes, it means server found the file. Once server found the file, it will send me the content, and then I'll make another file at my side, means at the client side. So again back to here. If it is yes, it means server found some file. Okay. Then what the server needs to do? Server will read content of file and it will send those content to client, right? Client will read this. So first, if it is yes, then and only then client is ready to read the content. Otherwise, if it is no, means server is sending no, it means that there is no such file. So you don't have to wait for the content. Very obvious, right? So here at the client side, we will check if it is yes, right? Whatever the string in that you are reading, and so here you have to write that logic. But if it is yes, then and only then you are ready to read the content from server. Okay, so I hope you are getting the whole process what you need to do. So are you getting? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Fine. So this is what we are doing. So please make one program to do this task. I'm giving you 5 to 7 minutes at least. Apply some logic, right? And create at least one of the server or the client. Otherwise, I'm showing you the code and I'll explain how to do it. Fine? Okay? Do
Okay,
it.
ma'am.
Yep. Fine. So is it done? Or else we'll see how to do it. See, I'm showing you another way that how to run this, because we have seen, no, from the CMD also you can run this. So from that way I'm showing you how to do it. See, this is my class file server. I'm audible and my screen is visible, hopefully. Then I'll start speaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. So here I have created one class file server inside this public static void main. First, we are creating the server socket object. Server socket SS equals to new server socket and any port number on which your server is listening the request. Okay. Then socket S equals to ss.accept. So once your request has been accepted, server side it will create another socket for you. Fine. Then we will simply print here the connection has been established. Now you can even attach the buffer here, what we used to do into our previous applications, right? But it is not the mandatory one, you can skip it. Now, just one thing you need to remember for any of the data, if you wish to read, at that time you need a data input stream, right? And if you wish to write something, then you need a data output stream. This is what we know, right? So this is not the new thing, but this is just a recall kind of thing that this is what we need to do. So first I'll simply take here my input stream via this method get input stream. So data input stream din equals to new data input stream, and I'm getting the input stream. Why I'm getting the input stream? Because client, here I'm at the server side, but client will send me the file name. So that I wish to read, so that I'll read via this read UTF method. So object name din, because we are reading from the input stream. So din dot read UTF, we are simply converting it into the string, because we are doing here the typecasting, and finally in this f name we are storing which file name you wants to read. So you can see here at the server side I'm having one of the file myfile.txt, where I have simply written this is the file stored at the server and requested by the client. Fine. Okay. So user will just give the file name, suppose my file. So user will just give the file name. So that file name will be read into this f name. Now, if you found the file or not, whatever it is, you are sending something to the client, yes or no? Right? We are sending that to the client that I found this file, and yes or no, you are saying something to client. So for that, here I'm creating data output stream, dout equals to new data output stream and get output stream. Fine. Then I'll create the object of file reader, buffer reader, and one of the Boolean flag. Right. Then I need to check whether this file is there or not, whether this file exists or not. So I'll check file f equals to new file, and here I'm giving the f name. So if f dot exist means if this file name is there at the server side, then you just need to set your flag equals to true. Else it would be false. Means finally it is confirmed that whether you have that named file name or not. That's it. Okay, this is what you are doing. Now, whether it is true or false, you want to send this to client that whether you found this file or not. So if the file is exist, you are sending yes to the client, else you are sending no to the client. So if flag equals to true, you are writing onto this data output stream that yes, I found the file. Okay. So here you will write like this, dout.write UTF, and you are saying yes. Else, if you are not finding this file, you are not able to find this file and your flag is false, you will write no. Okay. So if your flag equals to true, now you are ready to send the content. First you said yes, but now you have to open that file. You need to read the content. Suppose here I'm showing, you are having one of the file, my file. So you need to read this content and you need to send this content to your client. That's what you are going to do. So here, if your flag equals to true, it means first you are doing what? Fr is equals to new file reader, and you are creating the object of this file reader, and that you will attach to your buffer reader. And finally, via this buffer reader object file, you will do the operation, right? This is what you used to do. Okay. So here, what you are doing is fr equals to new file reader, and here you are giving f name, means the file name. You are attaching this file reader to your buffer reader. So file equals to new buffer reader, and you are passing object of this. Or you used to write like this, no? If you remember, you used to write here like this. Do you remember this? In buffer, you are giving your file reader and whatever the file name you wish. But instead of that, you can directly pass this fr over here. Right. Now you are having one of the variable string, right? Because in that you are reading the content line by line. So now you are checking while str equals to file dot, this is your file dot read line. So very first line you are reading, and you are checking that whether it is null or not. If it is not null, then what you need to do, you need to write, you need to flush onto the data output stream, so client can fetch that data and client can read that data. So you are simply writing dout dot write UTF, and you are just writing this string, whatever is here, where you have read the line. Okay, and that you are writing. So that's it. That was only the task of server. Server is just opening the file, reading the data, writing that data onto the data output stream. Now at the client side, it will read those data, and we are closing all the connection. So this is what your server. Now we'll move on to the client. What we are doing at the client side. So what I'm doing at my client side, first client will ask for what? For the file name from the user, that please enter the file name and so. So first, what we are doing, we are creating one socket. Socket s equals to new socket, and here you can give the IP address of server, or they both are on the same machine. You can write here localhost and on which port number server is listening your request. Then here you are creating one scanner class object because you want to take the data from user from the keyboard. So scanner s1 equals to new scanner system.in. Then system.out.print, enter the file name. Now string fname equals to s1.next line. So finally you are reading the file name. Okay. Then in this data output stream, I'm creating here one data output stream object. So how to create a data output stream? Dout equals to new data output stream in this. Because whatever the file name you are having, you want to write it down somewhere. Once you will write, server can fetch it. So I want to write it. So dout.write UTF and file name. So finally, I am writing onto the data output stream, and via input stream, the server is reading this file name. Say yes or no. So I hope you are listening to me. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So here, now what I'll do, because see, once I have given this file name to server, server will check that whether this file exists on my machine or not. And do you remember, server will send yes or no? Fine. So I need to read that. So whenever I'm reading, I need to create data input stream object. Fine. And here one of the string is here, and I'm reading that din means din dot read UTF. So here I'll read response whatever the server has sent to me. So that I'll typecast into string, and finally it will be stored in STR. So server has sent maybe yes or no. So now I'll check. Now I'll check that if this str dot equals yes, then I'll wait for the contents, whatever the file contents are coming from the server, right? So while str equals to, again I'm reading din dot read utf is not is equals to null. What I need to do here, what I am doing is I'm just simply printing this data and I'm just showing that, okay, this is the string. But what is actually given here that you have to copy this content into another file and you need to create one file at the client side. So already into the core Java, we have learned how to create a file. It is nothing but just a simple program of copy from one file from the server side. You are reading the data, and to another file, you are just copying that data. So here you are reading that data. So what you need to do, you have to create here one of the file object, right? You have to create one of the file object, and in that what you are writing is, I mean, if it is your dout dot write utf, and you can write that data here, right? So it is simply nothing but copy of the file. But for now, what I am doing is I'm just showing you that this is what the content I have received from the server. So that's what I'm doing. So what is your task? I hope you simply understand this. What is your task is, your task is to create another file at the client side and just copy whatever you are reading here. This str you need to write. You need to write this str. That's it. This is what you are doing. Just like here you have written no dout.write utf fname. Instead of that, what you will write here, str into your another file. You have to create that file object here. Suppose input IO stream, I stream, O stream, and you are creating the object of it, and you will write here str. I hope you are getting what you need to do. And finally, we are closing all the connection. But if here we are simply getting no, that no, I don't found such kind of file. So it will simply print file not found. Okay. So how you can run this program via your typical way, I mean via the CMD. So I wanted to show you that. So I'll open this client as well as I need to open the server. Two different command prompt windows, and don't close any of it. So first I'll compile dot java c file server dot java. So first I'll run the server. I mean first I'll compile the server, then I'll go to client and I'll simply compile here the client. Then I'll run the server java file server, and then I'll run file client. Okay. So here you can check connection has been established at the server side. Server side, we are just giving the message that connection has been established, and at the client side, they are asking enter the file name. So here I'll give the file name because I know this file is there at the server side. So what I'll give, my file dot txt and enter. So what it will do, it will just send the content whatever is there. So this is the file stored at the server and requested by the client. This will be printed over here at the client side. This is what my program was. So I hope it is very clear to you guys and you don't have any doubt in this. Let me know if any. Fine? Say yes or no, at least. Clear, okay? So please finish this program. I'm giving you 5 minutes to finish it, right? I'm showing you the code. Please make it finish. And after that, we'll move on to the JDBC connection, okay? A very first demo program of JDBC. So I hope you have installed Xen server. If not, please do it.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, can I use print writer instead of input data output stream?
Sorry, just pardon.
Uh, I'm saying, can I use print writer object
Yes, you can. I
instead of data output?
did no previously also, because every time in every program I'm using the different classes. Have you seen that? In the previous program we have used the print stream object, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
ma'am.
you can.
Thank
Okay, fine. So what we can do here is now the second program. We can move further. So here we have finished all the 6 programs of advanced networking, right? And now we are starting with this JDBC programming. So at least 2 lectures you have seen for this JDBC, right? So few steps and how to load the drivers and all you already know, hopefully. Please say yes or no,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So then also I'll repeat few of the things from where to load the drivers and all. So I'll show you first the steps. The steps you can even check from your PPT, right? So first thing, for this you have to import the package which is java.sql.star, right? Because you want the connection with your SQL. Meanwhile, I'll just start my XAMPP. Okay. Right. Now load here Oracle. Suppose see here, if you are working with the Oracle, you will be having the different drivers. If you are working with MySQL, there would be the different drivers. If you are using this PostgreSQL, then also. So which driver you need to load? Because I am working with the XAMPP, so what I need to do, I need to install the drivers of MySQL, right? Which is com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Now from where I'll find this driver? So for that, you need to search here MySQL connector jar. Okay. So when you will search this, you will get the number of links and all. But I used to go to this Maven repository, right? So simply click on this. It would be 4th or 5th link. And here you will get the latest drivers. You can check by the date. Okay, latest one would be the first one. So you just click on this. I'm using 8.0.25. And once you will click on it, here is the jar. Once you will click, it will be directly downloaded. It will be directly downloaded, right? You don't have to do anything else. I hope you are getting what you need to do is. Okay, fine. Once it is done, once it is downloaded, now how you can map it or how you can download it over here. So for that, what you need to do, suppose this is what my project, advanced networking. In that only, I have created my file for what I need to run my program for the JDBC, first program, demo program. So in that, right click on it and you will get properties. Click on the properties. Fine. So click on that and here you will find libraries. In this libraries, you can add jar or folder. Just go on it. So wherever is your jar file downloaded, my file is in downloads, right? So I'll just need to select it and just open it. I have already done it, so I'm not doing that thing, right? And just give here the OK button and it will work. So finally it would be there into your libraries. You can check here. MySQL connector Java 8.0.25 jar is there. This is by default, right? But this library you have added because in your program you are using MySQL connection. That is right. Fine. So are you getting yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. Fine. Now, once I'll go to this XAMPP, okay, you just need to start your Apache server and this MySQL. Both you just need to start. Once you will start it, they will show you the port, on which port it is working. Apache is not necessary. I mean, you can try without Apache also, right? But I used to start Apache and this MySQL both. And here it will show you the port here. See, this is 3306. So on this port only this MySQL is working. That is why we are writing no that MySQL and that local host and that colon, this port number 3306. You used to write like this, right? Okay, then again we are back on these steps. So first thing what you have done is you found this driver, you have added it with your NetBeans. Fine. Now you are registering for the driver. How to register? So for that you are using this forename method. Forename, and this is the static method, so it can be called directly with the class name. So class dot forename, and it is used to register a driver, or it will dynamically load the driver's class file into your memory. So that is why you used to write this class dot forename. Okay. Then you need to establish the connection. So how you used to establish the connection? You are creating the connection class object. If you remember, connection CONN equals to, and then driver manager dot get connection, and to which you want to connect. So for that you are passing that DB URL, username, password, and so. Do you remember this? Okay. Then you are creating the statement. Statement is required for what? Because you are connected with what? With the MySQL via this NetBeans. So what you need to do is that is just a bridge between them, right? Whatever the data you are, I mean, see, suppose you are firing the query like create something, so it will take your data via this statement. If you are firing the query like insert into this and this, so whatever the result set is actually passing from here to there, it's just a bridge between them. And for that you are having the methods like execute query, execute update. So when to use which one, that you already know maybe, right? Here you are writing no execute, then execute update, execute query. So these are the different methods. This we are using with the procedure calls and all. This you are using wherever you are changing the structure of your database, right? So either you are dropping any of the table, or you are creating any table, and if you are just firing the select star from kind of query, then you are using only execute. I hope you know this thing very well. Okay. Hello, say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, okay, great. So here you are creating the statement, right? That what we have seen. And finally, you are executing your query. Okay. And if you are fetching any of the results, then you will simply process your result, right? It will be fetched and it will be printed here. And at the last, you are closing your all the connection. So this is what the steps. Fine. That is only our first thing to do. Yeah, that I have already pasted. Write down the 5 basic steps to establish JDBC connection from the Java application. Also mention the sample code. So now we are ready to see the sample code. So this is what my code is. And what I need to do, suppose this is what my XAMPP, no, I have started my service. Now in this MySQL, just go to admin. Go to admin. Once you will go to admin, it will open that localhost PHP myadmin, and over there we will see if any of the table is created. First we will drop the table. Just wait for a sec. It's working. Okay. So here one of the student database I have created. Okay, one of the student database I have created here, and one of the table is there, but I'll simply just drop this table for a now because we will create it again. Okay, so here you don't have any kind of table, you can check. Right, you don't have any tables here. This is just your student database. You have just given the name student database. Okay, fine. Now what we are doing here is, in our code, see, you have to import the package java.sql.star, that what we have discussed. Then you have taken one of the class. Inside that, first, it is not necessary to give the static final. You can even remove it. You are taking one of the string variable db URL, because to which database you want to connect, right? To which database you want to connect. So you are giving the URL of it, that JDBC colon MySQL colon localhost on which port number 3306 slash student DB. This is what the database I want to connect it with. Then once you will install your XAMPP, okay, by default the username would be root, and by default the password would be blank. Fine. You can even set your XAMPP password. So that password you need to provide over here. But by default, if you want to do anything, the username would be root and the password is blank. Fine. So this is what you have just assign your variable, string variable, db URL, user and password. Now, inside this public static void main, first you are creating this connection object, a statement object inside this try. What you need to do, you have to register for your drivers. Very first step was what? You have to download the drivers. You need to load the drivers. And second one is register the driver. For registration, you are using this class.4name. So that what you are doing here, class.4name com.mysql.jdbc.driver. This is what your driver registration. Fine. Then you are simply printing connecting to database. So every time we will get the track that where I'm doing any kind of mistake or not. If it is printing, it means we are still into the try block and we are not reached to the catch block. It means no exception has been generated. That is why we are printing this. Otherwise, these statements are not at all required. Okay. But I'm just checking that, okay, finally I am connected with this MySQL or not. So first registration, after that establish the connection. So for that CONN, which you have created this object, equals to driver manager dot get connection, and here you are passing this URL, username, password. If it is connected, they will show you this message, connected database successfully, creating the table into your given database. So after that, you will use this stmt statements, right? So stmt equals to connection dot create statement. So you are creating a bridge between your NetBeans and MySQL. Fine. After that, you are firing one query. You are writing one query. String SQL equals to create table. That is the keyword, right? This table. Then you are giving the table name as student. What you want? So first column is roll number, which is of data type integer. It should not null. Second one, name. Then it is your varchar. Data type is varchar with the size 255. Third column, address. It is again of the data type varchar 255. And finally, you are defining primary key of your roll number. So here, roll number is your primary key. Okay. So this is what your SQL query you have just written. Now finally you will execute that query, because see, here you are simply changing the structure, right? Always remember that whenever you are changing the structure, you have to use here execute update. If it is select star from, then you just need to write execute here. Okay, so stmt.execute update, and you are giving this query, SQL query, inside this parameter, okay, as a parameter. If it is successfully done, finally it will print created table in the given database. Fine, and here is the catch statement, and finally, inside the finally, I'm just closing the connection. That's it. We are not doing anything else in this. Fine, and finally I'll write done. If this will be printed, it means my connection has been successful and it has created one database named as student with 3 columns. Fine, so I'm running this. Just wait for a minute. It's working. Fine. So here you can check it's connecting to database. It's there. Connected database successfully. Creating the table. Created the table, and finally done. Means everything is working well. So now you can again go to here and we can refresh here. Once we'll refresh, here the student table will be there. Fine. So here is my student table. I'll click on it. You can check the structure and you can check roll number, name, address. It is there, whatever we have given, right? And inside this, there is no value is yet inserted. That we will do the next time. We will not insert the value from here, though you can do this. You can directly give the values of your roll number, name, address over there, and you can insert one of the tuple, fine, into the database. But we will do this via firing the query from the database only. Okay, sorry, from the one of your program. Okay, we will simply modify this program and we'll fire the query from the NetBeans and we will insert the values. So I hope this thing is very clear and you are able to do here the programs of JDBC now onwards. Say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So if you wish to finish this program, first finish this, right? If you have not yet installed XAMPP and all, please install it, right? Because now onwards, whenever you have to do the program, you need this XAMPP as well as this NetBeans, right? So please finish this program. Fine. So I hope you have written this program. Is it done?
Yes, ma'am, it's done.
Okay, great. So you can write your enrollment numbers and you may leave.
Should we leave, ma'am?
Yes, yes, you can write your enrollment numbers and you may leave.
Thank you, ma'am.